Good evening and welcome to Paranormal Plus Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Cox, aka the Casper Hunter. I'm here with my co-host, David Luke.
Hello.
Hello.
We have a distinguished guest with us tonight, Miss Marion Thomas. Miss Marion Thomas is our manager. So
Hello.
she actually found the story that we're going to be doing a podcast on tonight, and that's we decided to bring her on since she did such a good job. The podcast tonight is going to be on the Georgia WereWolf.
Oh,
okay. Did you know that we had a werewolf?
I didn't know that Georgia had a werewolf, but who knows? It's all paranormal to me.
If New Jersey can have a devil,
Right.
That's a good point.
some place has a Mothman.
Right. I think
Um,
it's Pennsylvania. No, is it?
It's up north. It's somewhere.
Pennsylvania?
there's
Yeah, it is up
there's
north.
the big bird.
I'm not sure.
Big Bird. That's on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. The big bird.
I like him.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, tonight's podcast is about Big Bird. I'm sorry. It is about a woman that was born in 1841 in Talbot, Georgia. Talbot County, Georgia. That's just east of Fort Benning, Georgia. That's about 3.5 hours from Waycross. For those people that need to know geological locations, Waycross is just above the nipple on Georgia. Yes, just above the nipple on Georgia.
The Georgia nipple. Okay.
Where is that
nipple.
Georgia nipple?
It runs down into Florida.
Okay.
Oh,
Makes
that
Florida
explains
our
a lot.
bitch.
Oh, wow. I've not heard that.
Anyway, back to the story. So, Marion, you found this story. Tell us how you come upon it.
Well, I stumbled across a group and was reading just, all their posts and everything. And they had a haunted road trip you can go on and that kind of thing. And this was one of the stories in there. And I thought it was pretty interesting.
So when you seen it, it jumped out at you, said, "Hey, this is something that the team might be interested, not only in doing a podcast on, but maybe doing a little investigation."
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it was on short notice. We as a team have not, and I'll repeat, we have not did an investigation on this. We have done historical searches and tried to get as much information about this topic as possible to bring to you. So, we know that Emily, her name's Emily Isabella Burt, and we're going to refer to her as Emmy because that was her nickname used by her family. That's what she was known by, was Emmy. Emmy was born in 1841, and she died at the age of 70 in 1911.
Wait, now was that before the Civil War?
1841 was before the Civil War.
Wow.
The Civil War was 1863, I believe.
So it wasn't that long, but she could have been in her 20s during the Civil War.
But,
Yeah.
people just didn't
She might
live
not
that
be.
long back then, did they?
Yeah.
So that's long for a werewolf.
If you go to referring to Methuselah, you got to live 900 years.
Yeah, well, she had snakes on her head.
That's Medusa.
Oh, that's what I thought you said.
Methuselah.
Who's that?
He's the oldest living person in the Bible.
Oh, okay. The oldest living person in the Bible. I thought that was
All right,
Jesus.
so Emily was born to Joel Hertbert and Ann Owen in Talbot County, Georgia. The sad thing is, at the age of 36, Joel would die. Now,
That's really young.
Now, the thing about the family is they were pillars of the society. They were very wealthy people, very well-to-do. They had over 300 acres of farmland. When Emily's daddy passed away, her mama sent her to Europe to boarding school. And that's when the story kicks in, is when she returns. They said when she returned, back to Georgia. She was very pale and frail and sickly looking. Her mother noticed some strange things going on with
hair.
her. Yeah, unusual hair growth.
Mm-hmm.
She would get up. She would catch her sneaking out the house in the middle of the night.
And running the fields, wasn't she?
And
No way.
That's what it
Is
says.
who knows? Who knows? They may have a little.
But all teenagers do that, don't they?
They may have had a
Mm.
bordella or something going on. Bordella blood.
Okay.
So anyway, her mother caught her sneaking out, and when she would question Emmy, she would be confused and not know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like she blacked out.
at the same time all this happened, same time Emmy came back into town.
Uh-huh.
The farmers went to noticing that a lot of their sheep were being destroyed by what they thought was a wolf.
Right.
They noticed that something was killing their livestock.
And it wasn't just one farm, was it?
They wound up getting a posse together.
Posse.
They also they put a reward out.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that killed this wolf, and the reward was $200 back in the mid 1800s.
That's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it was probably the equivalent of around $6,000 today.
Wow.
So it was you can say it was a $6,000 reward for the capture and the destruction of the werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a older man from Europe. I think it said Eastern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And he told them that they were not dealing with a wolf, and they were dealing with a werewolf. And he told them how to go about destroying it. Said that you had to take everything that you had silver and melt it down.
The crucifixes weren't.
That's the reason they said there was a bunch of silver crucifixes melted down, make these bullets, and so they use these.
Now I wonder how he knew that. I mean, because he was from Europe and
I
they
guess
have
because he was
werewolves
from
there.
Europe. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
in the United States, the United States at the time had been around. It'd been around for maybe a couple hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
You go to looking at legends and lores and stuff in Europe that's been around for thousands of years.
Right.
So they've experienced a lot more stuff than what we get to experience in the United States. There's a lot more legends and lore to them than what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So he told them how to destroy the creature, and it was they set out one night. A farmer caught the creature.
It came up on him, right?
Came up on him, killing livestock, and he shot the creature. But he said that, and what I read said that it moved so fast that they didn't think that they had
hit it.
But he said I know I hit it.
Right. Because there was blood or something, wasn't it?
And well, I'm not
I
real
think I
sure.
read that.
I didn't read that part, but I know that it said that he was adamant about saying that I know I hit it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the next morning, Emily's found by her mama with a gunshot wound. And so she gets a doctor. Doctor patches Emmy up, and they wound up sending her back to Europe to be treated for lycanthropy.
Is that
what is that?
werewolfism?
Lycanthropy is a condition where a person either changes into a werewolf or they believe that they change into a werewolf.
I wonder where that basis of that definition came from.
Mm-hmm.
It may have came from Europe.
Yeah.
Well, don't they call them lichen also?
Yeah.
Werewolves?
Lichen.
Mhm.
Yes. So she was treated. She came back to the United States. They said that she was cured, and that she would wind up living a very. She became she became very successful, very prominent member. She never married. So
Well, who would marry her?
she is available, David. So,
Oh, great. Awesome.
well, yeah, a coworker.
Well, she was a landlord.
A coworker of mine looked at her picture and he said he knew why they shot her.
Oh gosh, that's not nice.
He told me not to use that, but I told him I was.
That's
I
good.
said,
That's good stuff.
I said, this is what she looked like, not a bad lady. He goes, I know why they shot her. She wasn't no werewolf.
She's hairy, sure. No, but how does somebody cure someone of being a werewolf? You know what I mean? How's that?
Why wasn't everybody cured of being a werewolf over the years?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was stationed in Germany, the gypsies would move around.
Oh, gypsies.
And they had, I don't know what they dealt with, but people would go to them to get things cured. Like if you had something going on in your house, you went to the gypsy and they removed it. So, I mean, maybe she was sent back to Europe and it was
the gypsies.
gypsies that cured her. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, like I said, we grabbed this story.
Yeah.
It was something that caught my eye. Marion posted it and said, "Hey, check this out." You didn't really know anything about it until.
No, I hadn't researched anything on it. To be honest with you, I just kind of read little bits and
wonder
pieces.
if that's the only werewolf we had.
It can't be.
You can look at David's
There's
face
one.
and tell that there's a werewolf in
I
here.
know.
If there's one, if it's like you're
gotta be
saying,
more.
yeah.
And
There's got
do
to
they
be.
infect each other like vampires do? That's
question.
interesting.
That's a good question.
Well, you know how you could trace that back is you figure out how the hell you cure somebody who's been a werewolf to start off with,
yeah.
and then you figure out how they become a werewolf.
Well, in the movies, doesn't it like they get scratched or something or bit?
I don't have a clue.
I
I thought
And
they
then-
killed people.
Well, yeah. Well,
They could definitely kill
the werewolf movie I saw only had one werewolf, and he was going around killing people, and he was the priest.
and I don't know how they survived
Silver bullet, baby.
that
I don't know
change
what
with
movie you want.
the
Silver
jaws
bullet.
coming out and everything. How they survive that without? That's
It's wild,
Something
but
to
you
think
know,
about,
but you know, okay. Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. You sitting there. You're talking about the metamorphosis they go
Yeah.
through, but think about a woman giving birth. How the hell did they survive
well,
that?
my jaw didn't pop out 4 feet.
But yes, you know, you're
Well, yeah, but
And-
yeah. But you're
You
talking
survived
bones
that.
and teeth and everything when they metamorphose, you know.
and think about Sling Blade. I mean, he had to metamorphose his
Okay.
jaw like that.
Right.
Listen, y'all gonna stop talking about my kin.
I bet he is.
But that's that is a lot for the human body to go through that transformation.
And then they pop right back though.
All right, so
And no signs of torn
we
skin.
we know several things. We know the lichens, which are werewolves. Skinwalkers, which is people shape shifting. So I wonder if the two's tied together.
They could be.
Very well possible. We need to do some more research.
Yeah,
on that
we
part.
definitely do need to bring some of this to this table, and I mean,
It'd be interesting to find out. if
this
there's
is
any other things.
this requires a lot more intense investigations than what we're used to, David.
We want to get to the bottom of this. We want answers. Did you just block me out there?
You're out of here. I got you.
I'm Emily Burt now.
This is Emily Burt's tombstone. She was born July the 29th, 1841, died June 18th, 1911. And You can find this in the cemetery in, I believe, Woodland, Georgia.
Yeah.
That's where this is
county.
That's what it's called now, isn't it?
So,
Or I don't know. Recap.
Hey, we didn't do a part 2 of this. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
yeah, we need to research this a lot more
Mm-hmm.
and get a lot more information. Not just about Emmy. We need to.
She never had any children, right? Because
She never had any
married?
children. She never got married. But what we need to look into, I mean, David, there's stories that go back 1979, and I'll go ahead and tell the story because it happened to my brother.
Yeah.
Okay. And he is not able to be on the podcast tonight, so I'll tell the story as what I remember.
Okay.
1978, 79. He had a green GMC truck with a souped-up 350 motor. Was very fast. That's what I remember about the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
and he
Are werewolves attracted to 350 motors?
They're attracted to the green truck.
werewolves love Chevrolet.
Stay away from Chevrolets or a werewolf will get you. That's it.
Werewolves love Chevrolets.
1970 something anyway.
1978 GMC,
Oh, excuse me.
which had a Chevrolet motor or GM motor.
See? I was,
All right, so him and his wife, he's been married to her all this time. They had went down to Hamp Mazzell, and for those that don't know Hamp Mazzell, if you go out Swamp Road and you keep going all the way down, it's going to be past what the Okefenokee Swamp is, but it's going to be down Swamp Road. There's a place down there called Hamp Mazzell. It is spooky. You have to pump sunshine into that place.
Is that
It's
dark and dingy?
It is the deepest spot on the Swamp Road.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a road down there named Skullhead, and the story of that road goes back to skulls being found
Right.
down there. So the name of the road became Skullhead. So they're down there parked, and
What were they
he
doing
said,
down there, Parks?
well, what do you think they were doing down there, parked? He said something jumped into the back of the truck. They felt the truck, boom, boom, and he automatically hit his cargo light. And when he turned and looked, all he could see was one eye.
Oh, wow.
And he said that he started the truck, or the truck, maybe the truck was already, he left it cranked.
uh-huh.
So he throws it in gear, takes off, and he said whatever it was, it slung it out, but there was scratches down both
gosh.
sides of the back bed panel, like something had grabbed a hold of it.
Now, did he say what it looked like?
He just said
One
it was
eye.
big, big, hairy, and he only saw one. He said it had big teeth, and it had sharp talons
Mm-hmm.
or claws, and he scratched up the paint job on both sides of his truck. But what was funny about this? We got a mutual friend,
Mm-hmm.
Lee. Lee's telling me a story, and
I remember Lee.
he goes to telling me the story about something that happened to his granddaddy. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth into these stories because these stories belong to these guys to be on the show to tell at a later date. But he talks about a skinwalker or a lichen or something that chased his granddaddy down the railroad tracks. So,
I know. I don't want to
Could-
get into any of those.
could this be
No, I don't want to deal with that.
his granddaddy's situation happened before my brother's? Because his granddaddy was finna go into the military.
This
we're-
is all around here, right?
Lee is going to be close to your age or my age.
I don't know what.
So his granddaddy would have been close to a Korean War or Vietnam War. So that gives you a perspective of the time. And then Mark's situation, Mark and Laura, is in 1978, 79.
That's Not that long
So
ago.
you're looking at time frames.
Well, okay, here's a good question though. Geographically, where did these locations, where did these events happen at?
All right, so the
I mean, how are they close to each other geographically?
the one that happened, they were, believe it or not. If Mark was down at the end of Swamp Road, which is Hampton, if you take the paved road across, you come to Manor, and Manor is where
Manor.
Manor.
I've heard of that before.
Manor.
Manor?
Manor is where the creature chased his granddaddy down the railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And
And this
per
is all
reports, some people that I've talked to that knows a little bit about the story with Lee's granddaddy said that it looked like when they went back and looked, it looked like pitchforks were being dug into the ground running behind him.
Wow.
So
That's got to be some big paws.
it's pretty, it's pretty interesting. Both of them stories, and do they tie into Emily, Isabella Burt?
Well, I
Maybe they
think
went to boarding school too.
maybe they went to boarding school. But I think that depends on if we're talking about a skinwalker or we're talking about a werewolf,
Right.
and if they're the same thing or not.
Well, we know this area was rich with native history.
I was going to say, didn't in the one podcast you were talking about the Indians that
Mhm,
lived out there?
the
They were
Creek.
7 foot tall.
The Creek and the Seminole.
Mhm.
Were you talking about the tree people?
Yes.
And I believe the report said that one of them, the smallest that they found, was 7 foot tall.
Now,
They
That
were
could be-
taller.
Yeah.
from what I remember of my brief research on skinwalkers was that they was Native American shaman.
Oh, the healers.
So they was Native American shaman, and they wore the wolf's head and the wolf's fur, and
They acted like wolves.
I don't remember. I want to say that they took mushrooms and stuff to get to like that next level everybody said.
Yeah.
They smoked the funky pipe too.
Did they?
Yeah.
They probably
In the
did.
teepee.
They partake in the black drink.
I guess so.
So.
Peyote buds, right?
I mean, I've partaked in the black mushroom tea before. It does make you feel a little
You know,
different.
they're starting
Well,
to treat people with that stuff.
they have these sweat houses, and before you was to go into the sweat houses, what I remember, because I used to be real good friends with Chief Raymond Dreamwalker, and he told me not to do it because you have to drink the black drink to go in. And he said,
That's
"Don't go."
mushroom tea.
Well, I didn't want to,
Yeah,
the way it
yeah.
sound bad. He made it sound bad, and he just told me, he said, "Stay away from it."
That's probably what it was, because every time I've ever seen it, it was always a black looking
Black
tea.
looking tea.
Not
Yeah,
appetizing.
yeah.
No, I hate it.
Them shrooms will make you hallucinate, buddy.
Yeah.
So,
All that cow shit.
well, there you go.
See, they have a manager too.
Cows have managers.
They do.
It's the mushrooms.
All right, so Miss Burt just came back to the family house, and she never married, never had kids, and just
She
died.
never married.
She got the money.
According to what she became very prosperous. She went.
How?
She was a landlord, it said, I think. Wasn't she?
I don't ever remember reading anything. I just remember reading that she became very prosperous.
Yeah.
And you saying she was a landlord.
Yeah,
Now that you mention it, maybe I did read something about her owning some real estate.
It's real estate investing.
So you might be her reincarnated.
I
huh?
might be.
I have looked at their family reunion page. There was a lady, she used to do threads about, I don't even remember what they called, they used to call them, you'd write a blog.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She had a blog going, and Emily was kin to her. And she wrote a piece on Emily and said, that this was one of her family members. She remembers growing up in the 1940s, and her grandmother would tell her, "Don't you go out there in that field because Emily might be out there."
And Emily, when she's a wolf, doesn't
When
know
yeah.
who
So don't go out there messing around the field.
So that's interesting because that tells me that these people genuinely thought that she was a werewolf.
Right.
Mhm.
I wonder if any of them saw her, like her family members saw her in that state.
One report that I did read said that the night in question when she got shot, that her mother, having questions about what she would do at night, would sit up
Right.
and was worried about her because there was a posse created. So she followed her. She couldn't keep up with her, so she don't ultimately know what took place. But the report said that she was there when she got shot and she fainted. Now, this person's perspective on it was that Emily had a butcher knife and was running around stabbing sheep, and she just wanted to go around acting like she was a werewolf, so she used the knife. But the descriptions that they were talking about the sheep being ripped apart and eaten by something, the butcher knife's not going to give you that. So anyway, in this story, Emily raises the knife to kill one of the sheep. The hunter shoots her in the
Yeah, but see,
hand.
that story doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't.
Because
Well, yeah,
we
it's
can go
gonna
to our
be-
neighbor's house right now and take a butcher knife and go knock on the door and say, "Hey, I'm about to stab your freaking sheep," and he's not going to come out there and shoot you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even back then, they wouldn't murder, they wouldn't kill someone because they were going to kill a livestock or try to hurt a livestock.
I don't know. It depends on what their livelihood
Well,
was.
but if you think about all the time that this was going on and all the sheep that were being killed, and it recreated a panic
And
in the town.
maybe
know?
he thought that, maybe he said, put the knife down, put the knife down, put the knife down, like cops do, drop it, and then shot.
But that's with people versus people. That's not people versus an animal, especially an animal that you would eat. So I feel like, my opinion, just my opinion, at the very most, they would just be out the value of that sheep. So it would not make sense to me, in my mind, that they would shoot her.
Okay, well, if somebody came up to your property and your dog's out there and they pull out a knife gonna stab your dog, you got a 1911, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, it don't matter.
Are you not gonna shoot them to
No,
protect
I'm
your
not
dog?
gonna shoot them.
What
to
if
protect
there
the
was
dog.
a panic?
If somebody come up to my property and was going to destroy my dog because they just were mentally ill, I'm going to put them down.
I'm just saying. You can't, I mean, there's a big difference there. In my mind, there's a big difference there. She had a good point, though. She said a bit. At this point, they already had a posse, so there was a big
Right.
panic going around about
Yeah.
this werewolf.
They were scared.
And they ran up on her. If this was a true story, and you don't know if that knife.
Well, we know by her pictures. I mean, it could have been a scary sight.
Yeah, she was,
Yeah.
She wasn't a doll.
Bless her heart.
She would have never got accused of being a Barbie doll. No.
no.
But she's a sheep murderer.
But she could afford makeup.
We don't know that she was a sheep murderer. We don't know that she was a sheep murderer. We assumed that she was a
I
sheep
think
murderer.
that they were scared, and then if they
And
did
they-
run up on him on two legs and the long snout and everything, don't you?
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
shoot then, yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
would've
I
shot
ran
her.
up on a thing that was walking around on all fours and looked like an animal, that thing's getting shot.
On all
Period.
fours.
Right.
On two legs.
On two legs.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to get away from it.
But if it's a woman in an old dress and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna
I think I'm a werewolf.
stab a sheep," I'm gonna be like, "Look at this crazy woman." No, just hit her with something. She's a woman. You don't gotta shoot her.
Hey now.
I'm just saying, she was probably a small woman. She looked like a two.
And we're going to close out on the story, because for tonight. But what we got to realize is we got so much that we need to do to research this.
We're gonna find out something really good.
Mary, do you think maybe we can set up some type of road trip, and it won't be the next few months, but maybe we set up a road trip.
Maybe after the holidays.
Yes, absolutely. Go check out Talbot County and find look at the grave and.
It'd
Ask
be-
the
it-
neighbors.
That's the neighbors, right? That's what I was about to say. It'd be good to actually get
Yeah, I'm sure she's still got neighbors alive. She died in 1911, so I'm sure we can ask some of her neighbors in the cemetery.
Well, she surely has descendants still in that county. If she doesn't, they have to be probably. There's probably some close anyway.
Yeah, we'll reach out. We got to discuss a few things. We got Holly, who is a makeup artist, and Holly is she's got a project she's working on, trying to be a part of the Friday 13th and meet Jason.
Oh, wow.
She contacted us today and asked us could we kind of lobby for her, and I was like, heck yeah, we'll lobby for you. You know, anybody that's a part of our community, we need to go on and vote. We need to vote for her and make sure that she wins this.
Can we post the website for them to go to vote?
Yes, I think David can get that put up there. But what happens is she gets the opportunity to go be a part as an extra in the Friday 13th movie. She gets to meet the actor who plays Jason.
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, she wins $13,000 grant to help her with her makeup history.
Yeah. Just getting her to, well,
Yeah,
I don't know, is she going to college for it, or is she just...
She's been studying
makeup?
whatever the makeup's called,
Yeah.
FX
Yeah.
makeup,
Okay.
for quite some time, and she's very good at it. I've seen some of the stuff. Back a few years ago, I seen stuff where she had pencils stuck to her eyelids.
Yeah.
I mean,
remember that.
it was some good stuff. But yeah, she's worked very hard. She deserves some recognition, and she deserves to win.
Yeah.
Because we winners.
Yeah.
We winners, baby.
Well, let's
So
do everything we can to help her.
And it's
Yes.
free to vote. I know
it's
it's
free to vote. There's a thing at the top says put your card in and vote, but don't do that. Go down, and each day you can put a vote in with your Facebook account.
right.
You get to put one vote in a day.
Put a reminder on your little calendar.
Yeah,
Do it every day.
every day.
Yeah.
Vote for Holly. I'm not even sure is Holly what?
Cox.
Holly Cox. So we is that what it's called on there? Holly Cox. Okay.
Does she
So
have a-
Holly Cox.
I was going to say, does she have a website of her own or anything where they could...
All I know is about this competition thing. I mean, she's got a website. We'd be more than happy
Yeah,
to
so people could see
to
her
put it
work.
out there and let people see her work.
Yeah.
So another exciting thing is, what time of the year is it?
It's Halloween.
It's that time of the year when the haunted house entertainment starts up, and we get the opportunity to go around and be haunted house entertainment connoisseurs and get to visit them all and try them all out.
Right.
But this coming week we have a special guest.
Yep.
We have John McDermott from Trimble Rock, the haunted house, and he will be on our show to talk about his haunted house, but especially David and I got the privilege of going a few years back and investigating. They kept his employees kept saying that the haunt was haunted.
Right.
Like the haunted
Oh,
house.
so
The haunted house was
Yeah.
haunted. They kept seeing things and hearing things, and well, we went in there and we found it has been proven. We have the evidence. We will share the evidence next week. John McDermott has an alter ego, and it's Tom Rudcam. That is his last name spelled backwards, if you didn't know. Tom Rudcam. But that's also a character inside the haunted house, Tom Rudcam.
Is that what
He's the narrator in the haunted house show, and I'm very excited to have
Oh,
have
yeah.
John
That's
on.
gonna be a good one. It's gonna be fun.
Is that like ghost karma? Like, they're dressed up as, these monsters to scare people, and they're getting scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By little ghosts.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. We got. Is it 4 or 5 haunted houses? Do y'all have any haunted houses over in Brunswick?
Yeah, we have them every now and then, but I have not seen
I'm
a really
telling
good
you,
one there.
If you get the opportunity to get away, and you have the funds, go see them all. Go see every one of them that we have
I
here
know some people
in
that
this
do
town.
that every year.
I like doing it. It gives me. Sometimes we just do it in one night, but it gives me something to do every
Right.
weekend. And with that being said, David, do you have something you'd like to announce?
Yeah. Speaking of that, we're having a giveaway for Trimble Rock. We're giving away 2 pairs, 2 tickets, times 2. So we're giving away
2 pairs.
2 pairs. And,
Not the pairs off the tree, but tokens to the
Right. We actually, I think I have them right in here.
in the treasure box
Yay!
We have
underneath the skeleton ghost.
It's free admission
For
for the Triple Rock, and that's good through the whole month of October.
Wow. Yeah, so that's okay. Good to clarify.
So that's free one admission for one mortal.
Anytime you're
Admit one mortal.
One mortal.
One mortal. There you go. John, we look forward to having you on. Marion, we've enjoyed having you on.
Thank you.
You are a big part of what David and I do.
Well, I'm
We
glad I'm here
don't
to help.
we don't get the opportunity often enough to thank those people that work behind the scenes. And,
Right. And it's all voluntary work. No one's getting paid.
Yeah.
At this point. So there's a lot of work that goes into this.
Yes, there's a lot.
Fun work.
So I've been stretched this past week, and David's kind of pinned some ears back because people was continuously trying to throw some things on me, and he put his foot down. I hope it
He's
didn't.
watching out for you. That's good.
Yeah, he was. He was acting like David Daddy.
I take
That-
pictures every night.
Daddy David. There I am, tongue-tied, back being tongue-tied. So,
Oh, that's just your feelings getting in there.
especially about David.
Yeah.
You're in your feelings.
So, in closing, we got Trimble Rock the Haunted House next week,
I have a
and
question on that.
okay.
Now, is that the same haunted house every year, or is it different? Does he change it up every year?
He does change it up every year.
Mhm.
If
Is it
you
really
never, he does a lot of work throughout the year. He's designing and
All for this month.
yes,
That's
he
great.
does a real good job. The other haunted houses in this area do a real good job. We got a new one, and we've been invited to come check that out. It's out Swamp Road at Obadiah's Okefenokee. 700 and something feet of boardwalk, and it's going to be a haunted boardwalk type
Okay.
adventure.
Just out in the open, like
Uh,
woods, but
Yeah.
like on
Yeah,
a deck you're walking?
If you've ever been to Obadiah's Okefenokee, it used to be a wildlife type management area where they took, and they got gators out there. They used to have peacocks, bears, chickens. I don't know, asses.
Werewolves.
So they had a lot of creatures out there. They used to have a snake area where they kept snakes, but that went away. These are the new owners of the Okefenokee,
Okay.
the Obadiah's Okefenokee. Mr. Brantley passed away a couple weeks ago. He had sold it to them, and he was from what I was told, he was very pleased in what he's seen the new owners
Doing with it.
So, I will say that Obadiah Barber's old home place is on the premises of Obadiah's Okefenokee, and I know I've been in there. I have seen that that's actually haunted. Obadiah Barber's old home place.
Oh,
And that's on the Obadiah's land that we're going to see.
I believe it is.
Where the
Obadiah's Open Oak. So.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Neither one of y'all's been back there?
I've
never been back
Oh, you're in for a treat.
I think
You're
this
in for
is
a
probably
treat.
the third time I've ever been to Waycross.
All right, so we want to thank Marion for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
In tonight's closing of Paranormal Plus, we want to thank our sponsors for tonight's show and next week's show, Laser Action Warfare. If you're looking for birthday parties or group events, call Laser Action Warfare. Also, Tremble Rot, the Haunted House.
That sounds like fun.
Tom Rudcam, here we come. We're going to Tremble Rot.
Yeah,
Definitely going to
Go.
Tremble Rot.
Well,
So, and we got the tokens to give away. Did you explain how to win, or are you just going to go on
we haven't
Facebook?
said that yet.
All right, so you're going to go on Facebook, watch for instructions. Next week when John comes on the show, we will give you more instructions. When are we giving the tokens away?
After the show next week.
After
Not
the show next
necessarily
week.
on the show, but
Well, that'll be the first part of October.
we could try to get on the show.
John's a character.
Well,
John's going to be up in here. We're going to be balling and laughing. I'm telling you. He already said if he needed to, he'd put on some, makeup for us.
perfect.
Y'all going to look like twins with bald heads.
Oh.
So he's
All right.
way down here.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night and a
Bye.
safe
Thanks for
week.
tuning in.